I'm looking at my notes here, and one of the first things I'm seeing is on the first chapter how he talks about everything is your mind is constantly dreaming, and I remember giving the book to a guy who really he actually liked the message of the book, but one thing he was like, I just that dream stuff kind of like sounds a little too new agey, and I thought about it and I was like, it does, but the way they use the word dream when you really and I have an advantage because I've read a lot more than just the Four Agreements. I've read all these Toltec books, and one thing that I've learned is when they use the word dream, he's the analogy that's used in the Fifth Agreement, which I know you're about to read. His son uses this analogy where he talks about how your eyes are like mirrors and you see the world as it is. But the difference between your eyes and an actual mirror is you have a brain behind your eyes that's analyzing everything and judging everything.
I love the story.
Assigning a label to everything. Like this RV, that's a light, and this is a cabinet, and this is a dashboard, and but that's all a dream. That's all so the way they use the word dream is really, I think, the more modern word. I think the way that we can get this way of thinking through to more people is to actually use the word interpret or analyze, because that's really the same thing that they mean by dreaming. It's creating a story of what is. What is beyond words, is beyond symbols. So the second that our brain puts a symbol on it, whether it's English symbol or Chinese symbol or a lot of languages, original languages from African tribes and Mediterranean tribes, the way their language was set up is like they could say the same sound, but the way they say it, the way their intonation of the sound would actually change the meaning of it.
Yeah. Because some black comedians, they be making noises and all that shit and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's actual. They have actual languages like that, like you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but regardless of what sound or anything that you put on it, that's an analyzation. That's the way the Toltec would perceive that is that's a dream. That's You've taken something that just is. Even me saying just is my dream. That's my interpretation of what is. But I can't. There's no word I can say to get that deep. You know what I mean? It's just something that you have to perceive, something that you have to see and experience on a level beyond words. That it's really hard because you have to use words to reveal to people that are living in a world of words that there is a world that's realer than the dream that they're living in. Or that's the way the Toltecs would put it, as a dream. But like I said, I like for science and for the modern world, I think using the words interpretation or analyzation is actually gonna make the light bulb go off for more people. Like, oh, yeah, my analyzation is like a virtual reality, but what is real is beyond any analyzation or interpretation, or as the Toltec would say, dream that there is. So I really actually wanted to make that point. That was like the one point coming into this podcast I remember I wanted to make, because I thought back on that one guy who liked the book, but that was like his one criticism, and I didn't have an answer for him at the time. But the more that I thought about it, it's like, yes, he's using the word dream, and like the way that like our modern society hears the word dream is like this place that we go to when we're asleep that has no borders and is like doesn't have any logic or rational.
I've been dreaming plenty of times being awake.
Right. Exactly. Daydream, but the point I'm making is it doesn't have any logic or like linear time to it. Like you can jump years in a dream.
Exactly.
And so people see it as less real when they hear the word dream. They think of it as less real. But even though there's a frame when we're not asleep, holy fuck!
Transformer?
I don't know if that was Transformer.
Fireworks. That had to be
fireworks.
That had to be
Transformers sound like that.
Yeah, but
people at the podcast, we just heard a loud boom outside, so we're trying to figure what the hell is that. We're not gonna cut this out either. This is gonna be raw.
And in this part of town.
It could have been.
We are in Mansfield, what is just right outside of Richmond. You know all the statue rides and all that stuff. So anything that could have been anything. But we're saying it's a Transformer.
Could have been a tire or anything. I don't know.
Anywho,
but Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Any reaction from either one of y'all to what I just said about dreaming?
No, you was pretty fluid with that.
Yeah, I was just while you're talking, I was just thinking, and it's like everybody grabs their life experiences out of that book, and certain things of that book resonates with you. That's interesting that you know that you felt that way about that section. Yeah.
Well, I didn't at first. I have to say that was. I don't want to say it was one of my own criticisms, but there was that bit in me that was like, I don't think that's explained very well. That does sound like a little too hippie, you know? But I understood what he was trying to say, so I was able to look past that. But I still, it took a while for that to click with me that what he means by the word dream isn't something abstract. It's actually what our brains do to analyze or interpret what is.
Yeah.
That's how I've come to see it anyhow, and I think that's accurate based on further reading.